We're live.
Welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast, a live edition, our episode 98, live and direct on YouTube. I will be your host today, Ed Montana. Alongside me today, as always, my brother, my best friend, my running partner, not as a runner, but just as a criminal partner, criminal running partner.
Oh, criminal? I'm not a criminal.
A little bit. My brother Alex. What's up, buddy?
I was gonna go into it with something else, but I glanced over at your socks.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of socks are you wearing?
I am wearing
purple, red. Like what the heck?
I am wearing. For those of you watching, I am wearing purple and red socks from the Gulf Coast Regional Blood Center. I donate blood, and on the bottom, check it out. They say "Hero." I don't know how am I gonna
turn your foot the other way.
I gotta like break my
Let's
foot.
twist his foot.
Yeah. So, see, this is what happens when you go live. There's no filter here, so you get to see that I do the podcast barefoot sometimes with socks.
This is the behind the scenes. We really don't want you to see Ed's foot.
This is why we were late. I was looking for appropriate socks to wear.
That's pretty cool. The socks are cool, and I think it's cool that you give blood.
Thank you.
Everybody should at some point in their lives. But those are some pretty cool looking socks. I was expecting like some Elmo type of, because I saw blue and red, I thought it was blue and red. It's purple, but
yeah. Well, so I give blood just about every 2 months. I give blood. Sometimes I won't give. Sometimes I get off schedule because of races or whatever, because it does mess with your body a little bit to be short a pint and a half or whatever it is. I've been doing it for 15 years, I think. And so every now and then they give you stuff and they give you socks. And today I felt like one surprisingly comfortable. Shout out to the Gulf Coast Regional Blood Center.
Sweet.
Here just outside of Houston.
Just outside
of Houston. So we're running late because that's what we do.
We're allowed to.
That's right. And but we are very excited to be live and direct. Look, we were going to do this episode today. We were basically going to make it like a watch party where we were going to watch Game 7 of the ALCS between the Astros and the Yankees, and we were going to podcast at the same time. Now, as everyone knows by now, the Astros won last night. And all I can say about Astros Yankees, what a game last night. And what a series. I was kind of rooting for the Yankees, but I'm okay with Houston winning. I'm not a huge Yankee fan. But, man, I sure could have gone for another game. I could have gone for another game like that. That was amazing.
Yeah, the way Game 6 went, first of all, I think we both wanted it to go 7 just so we could have, a mini watch party, right?
Yeah, but even if we weren't planning on doing that, I would have loved to have done.
Right. Well,
to have seen a Game 7 between those two teams.
Well, those are like the two best words in sports.
In sport, right? Yeah, absolutely.
But no, yeah, the way that game went, back and forth. The Yankees with a clutch home run in the ninth by DJ LeMahieu. The turning for me, or what I thought was the turning point, was when Brantley made that diving stop.
That was incredible.
It felt like it sucked the life out of the Yankees, and they were saving it for the ninth inning.
Yeah, apparently
right?
so.
Because the Astros all of a sudden, like in the seventh and the eighth inning, played stellar defense. That double play by Altuve to Correa to first was amazing. And
what gets lost in that play is that ball was not hit hard, and Altuve's throw was off balance, so Correa had to fire over to first, and he did. He threw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball to first,
and although
for a hell of a play.
And although it wasn't hit hard, it was a one hopper. It was.
But there were so many good plays in that game. On the losing side, a play that we'll never talk about again because the Yankees ended up losing. That play by Aaron Judge on the line drive to right center, where he stops that ball.
Right.
That ball had Marisnik scores from first easily and makes it a 3-run game for the Astros. He scores easily if that ball gets by him. And that ball had fence written all over it. And he went over and just got in front of it, just got his glove in front of it. And then it kind of hit off the edge of his glove. He bobbled it a little bit, but he ended up catching it, turning around and firing it into the infield, keeping him at third. They don't score the additional run, which then allows the Yankees to tie the game in the ninth. But just incredible. I've said this all year long. That was the series that I wanted to see. That to me was the two best teams. That to me was the World Series. That to me was the best that baseball had to offer. And you could just tell every single game had an incredible amount of intensity. Every single game, every at-bat, every pitch, it just seemed like there was so much on the line every time. Aside from the first game where the Yankees kind of ran away and made it a 7-0 win, every other game was 1 or 2 runs. It was close. You'd have the tying at the plate late in the game in several instances. I stop and think about it. He had 2 walk-offs in 6 games. I mean, it's just incredible.
Both by the Astros, though.
Yeah.
Now, although it was a good series, I expected a little more. I thought, what?
Jesus, what more could you want?
Well, I expected more from the Yankees. I mean, let's not forget the Yankees did not hit very Astros. Like, it's not going to be close. And it went an extra game, but this series didn't feel that close at all. The Yankees didn't hit very well with runners in scoring position. Gary Sanchez, again, behind the plate, proves that he's careless and can't block the ball. And I think that's horrible for the pitcher, because now the pitcher doesn't have faith that Gary Sanchez can, stop a curve in the ground. So that's not good for the pitcher either. And the Yankees, the Yankees live off of that home run ball, but they hit a lot of home runs in the series, but they were solo home runs.
I think they only had, up until last night, they'd only scored 1 run that was not via the home run.
They hit like 10 home runs though.
Oh yeah. I mean,
but six of them were solo.
That's I'm bolstering your point that they basically lived by the home run.
Oh, well, I mean, so again, there's still a lot of holes with this Yankees team. It's not the pitching is not. It's not great. Tanaka's pretty much their best pitcher. Paxton pitched great on Saturday. I'll give him that. Yeah, what was that? No, on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, they don't have.
Well, to be fair, Severino injured most of the season, came back towards the end of the season, so he didn't have the body of work in him to really be effective.
But their mantra the whole season was next man up. And they did that during the season, but they had the luxury of playing, below average teams, as did the Astros. But now when they go head to head, the Astros are obviously, they're obviously better than the Yankees. The Yankees played with house money all season long.
I think I'll agree with you. I think the Astros are the better team, and they deserve to win the series for sure. But remember this, in the playoffs, especially when you get 2 good teams like this, the pitching tends to dominate. The pitching tends to take over. And both teams suffered at the bottom of the lineup. 6 through 9 was terrible for both teams. Both 6 through 9 for both teams hit less than 150. Less than 150. Think about that. Less than 150. Less than 200 with runners in scoring position. They've got 20 some odd strikeouts and 2 and 3 RBIs. That was it going into last night's game. So, to be fair, the Stars, from an offensive perspective, the Stars did okay, not great. And then the role players just did nothing. 6 through 9 for both teams was terrible. The series was 1-5 versus 1-5. And the biggest problem the Yankees had, as much as you're talking about pitching, and I don't disagree with you, but the biggest problem the Yankees had, they had one hole in their 1-5 that was horrific. And that is Encarnacion and Stanton. They were both terrible. Stanton was hurt, whatever, but terrible performance by those two in the DH hole, whereas the Astros didn't really have that. Remember, they dropped Yordan Alvarez down to 6, so he's part of the 6 through 9.
He had a pretty bad series too.
He had 1 for 22, I believe. 1 for 21, 1 for 22. Yeah, he had a terrible series, but that's my point. 1-5, Astros 1-5, which is Brantley, Altuve, Bregman, and Gurriel, versus Yankees 1-5, LeMahieu, Judge, Torres, Encarnacion or Stanton, and then who was 5th?
Was it Hicks?
Hicks, right?
Was it Hicks?
Yeah, it was Hicks,
so, right?
In the top 5. So that's where the big problem lied.
Yeah.
That was the big difference.
Yeah, but I mean, look, at this point, they're all Major League Baseball players. You got to hit with runners in scoring position. I mean, those runs sitting at second base and third base.
The Yankees left a lot of guys on base.
Too many. So what do you think about Giancarlo Stanton? Because that's a lot of money sitting on the bench. I don't know how hurt he was, and I respect players that are hurt. I believe if they're hurt, they're hurt. But it didn't sound. It's not season ending.
Yeah,
right?
And he was able to come back after a few games.
I mean, at some point, Boone's got to say, look, we're not getting nothing out of Encarnacion. Stanton, you got to at least be a DH for me. At least be a DH.
Yeah, I've never thought that the Stanton deal was good for the Yankees. Not that he's not a good ball player. He is a good ball player, but in terms of, and I know the Yankees open up the wallet and spend whatever they want. They don't care about value, but I kind of do. And I think in a clubhouse, it does kind of matter. In terms of value, I don't think he's the best value for the Yankees.
No, not when you have
on that contract.
Not when you hit 240, 250. Yeah. That's it's all or nothing with Stan.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I thought it was an interesting decision to go bullpen for bullpen yesterday in Game 6. I thought that was fast. I think that was part of the drama yesterday, to be quite honest. The fact that you knew these guys were in for 6, 7, 8 batters, and then you were going to get a new pitcher.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it, man. I mean, two teams that win 100+ games. You're not winning 108, 106 games through your bullpen. You're winning it with starting pitching.
Right.
I mean, I understand the Astros bullpenning, which I hate that word, but I don't understand the Yankees bullpenning. Like, you need this game to stay alive.
Who do you start there?
It doesn't matter. You put a starter in, someone who you know is going to give you 5 innings, 4 or 5 innings. I don't think that was a good choice to.
Okay, no, I kind of agree with you, but my question to you then is, who? If not
whoever.
If you're not going to do that, then who are you going to bring in? I mean,
who's going to pitch today? Tanaka?
Severino. I mean, do you bring in Severino?
Well, yeah, you bring him in. I mean, why not?
But he's on short rest, and he's a guy who hasn't pitched a lot this season because of injury. Do you take the risk?
Yeah, you have to take a risk. It's an elimination game for you. You got to take a risk.
I don't particularly. I'm not at odds with the decision. I understand both calls. I would have been okay either way. I understand why Boone did it, and the way the game shook out, it looked like the right decision because they didn't get blown out of the water, and their bullpen's been very good throughout the series, throughout the playoffs, and really throughout the season. You got Severino for Game 7 if you get there. I didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, bullpen. That's well,
The bullpen thing.
bullpen and stuff is horrendous.
You're showing your age. You don't want to evolve into this 2019 baseball.
No, it's hard. It's really bad for baseball. Actually, it's bad. I think that's part of the problem that baseball has now. Really,
Well, it
to
makes
be
it,
honest with you.
it makes it harder to have dominant pitchers, right? Because you're going to the bullpen so much, and it's harder to have dominant seasons. And from a statistics perspective, which is what baseball, people love the statistics when it comes to baseball. It makes it harder to get into a team. It's one of the reasons why, in spite of the fact that they had the Cy Young last year, no one really cared about the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah.
Because they just, the bullpenning thing just kind of.
Well, I mean, they're in Tampa Bay. They average like 17 fans a game.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. Nobody cared when they went to the 2008 World Series.
No one even knows that.
Nobody cared. So
yeah, most people don't even remember that.
Yeah.
I bet you we took a poll. Most people
probably.
They went to the World Series? Really?
Shout out to whoever is watching. We have one person. I don't know who that is, but shout out to you. Thanks for tuning in. Shit.
If you have any questions, hit the live chat and we'll try to answer it as we go.
Heck yeah.
I got a question for you. We were texting last night back and forth during the game.
Yeah.
Was there any point last night, any situation where you bring in Garrett Cole if you're the Astros?
All right, I'll say this. I'm a fan of neither team. I enjoyed the game, but I get nervous during games like that. And yes, at some point I was like, man, if I was AJ Hinch, I'll bring in Garrett Cole. And but I've always said before, well, like the Nationals, no, you got to trust your bullpen, this and that. That's why I'm not a manager, because I was nervous. Like I don't know. Yes, there was a point where I would have brought him in.
I know this is going to sound like,
even if it's for one batter, I would have brought, to get one out.
Yeah. I know this is going to sound like I'm just calling my shot, right? Because I know what happened.
Right.
But I thought about it. When DJ LeMahieu came up in the ninth.
Did you?
Because I thought, top of the order, Osuna looks like he's getting a little wobbly. He had just walked. Who did he walk?
Was it Didi? Or
yeah. He walked. I think it was Gregorius. He walked.
It was the 9 batter. Might have been.
Well, then no, it wasn't him.
Might have been or Gio.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, so that at that point it made me think about it. I swear I thought about it. But then at the same time I thought games, Osuna is your closer, Yeah. I mean, he should.
And actually Osuna hasn't been pitching that bad. He's been better in the postseason than he was in the regular season.
Towards the end of the regular season, if it was a regular season game that I had to win for some reason, I would have totally done it. Because he struggled during the regular season.
But in the postseason, he pitched pretty well. So
he pitched all right.
I was okay with him leaving him in. And, not that AJ Hinch cares if I care, if I say it's okay. But, I guess he made the right call.
Maybe he's the one listening.
Maybe.
Trying to get some advice.
I'll tell you what, man. Jose Altuve, his heart is bigger than his 5'4" frame. We talked about everything, but we didn't talk about the most important hit of the game, and it was that one. And I love the way Altuve, you can see it in his face and in his actions. He is truly, figuratively and literally, a little kid out there.
Yeah.
Seriously, he is a little kid out there. The way he was holding that trophy, the way he was smiling,
But a lot of the Astros seem that way, which is one of the things that makes me like this team.
Yeah.
They seem like they genuinely like each other.
Right.
Like they would hang out together outside of baseball.
Yeah, but I think but Altuve is the motor
absolutely.
Of that. But I agree with you that the whole team has that you know what? I'm not going to say the word.
Camaraderie, yeah.
I'll just point to you, and I don't know.
Camaraderie. camaraderie.
But no, yeah, man, that's I enjoyed watching Altuve hit that home run. They took Brantley out. Someone was talking about this. They took Brantley out, who was up after Altuve. Would you have given Altuve the free pass and gone after? I can't remember who it was. Do you remember? I don't remember.
Reddick or Marisnik?
Well, either way, it wasn't. They weren't.
Yeah, either way, it wasn't Brantley,
Right?
Who is a beast. Yeah, Marisnik.
Do you give
I would have
pitch around him?
Yeah, if I'm Chapman, I think I would have.
You know what I didn't notice?
I mean, there's two out, and you have a force play on, right? But yeah, I think I still would have pitched around him. You know, because with all due respect, I mean, Marisnik is not. Obviously he's a major league player. He's good, but he's not Altuve. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised. I don't know. Pitching coach Aaron Boone didn't go out there.
No, they just trusted Chapman, and Chapman started that inning off on fire.
Yeah, and then to Correa, to Springer,
he just lost. He lost the strike zone, and then he came back and didn't get. He was trying to go high on Altuve, and which is kind of crazy to say, it wasn't high enough.
No, it wasn't.
Which I find very funny.
Which was like right at the top of the strike zone too.
Considering Altuve is 5'6", you couldn't throw it a little bit higher, bro?
The umpires. Do you think the umpires were horrible in that game? It all evened out at the end, but they were so inconsistent.
Yeah, there were pitches that were back to back that looked the same. And one guy called the ball, and the other one got called the strike. And I've been catching all night. That hasn't been a strike all night.
Yeah,
that's really weird.
That was driving me crazy.
Well, so the Astros move on to play someone from the National League. I don't even know who because it's been a week since they played. I'm just kidding. It's the Washington Nationals. I'm going to say something that I never would say. I'm going to say something nice. No, that's not true. Stuff. You called it back in June where you said the Nationals were in fourth in the East. I remember this distinctly because I thought it was a good point at the time. But you said if the Nationals are going to go on a run here because they got 19 of their next 24 games against teams that aren't very good, Miami, Detroit, Kansas City. And it was right before the All-Star break. And they did. They went on a run. They passed the Mets, who were just kind of meandering. And they passed the Phillies, who were playing good ball at the time. But they passed them both, got themselves up to about 5 games from the Braves, and then pretty much stayed there the rest of the way and really kind of they played 600 baseball the rest of the way. And not to say that you saw it coming in June, but you called what I believe now, as I look back, the catalyst for the rest of their season, because up until that point, they didn't look like a team that was going to make the playoffs, let alone go to the World Series. And now here they are. And I'm sure most people are not giving them any chance. In fact, last I saw, I think the Astros are the biggest favorite since 2007 or something, or 2008, which would have been the Phillies and the Rays.
Right.
No one knew the Rays. They didn't know there was a team from Tampa. So I'm not surprised that the Phillies were big favorites. Plus, the Phillies were a really good team at that point, and the Rays kind of just were meandering as well, but they managed to get hot. And so I'm going to give you props. You called the catalyst that really turned their season around and got them going to the point where now they're in the World Series. What do you think their chances are?
Well, shit. I mean, about time you say something nice about me. But
first time for everything.
I mean, look, I believe they got the strength of their pitching. Their pitching and starting pitching, has been strong here in the playoffs. They got a good lineup too. I mean, their 1 through 5 is I think it's better than the Yankees are. You got Rendon, who's MVP.
Right.
Soto, youngster, can play.
Good.
Who else? Trey Turner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those 3 alone are better than whoever you call out from the Yankees.
I don't know about that. DJ LeMahieu led the league in batting average.
Yeah, but
Aaron Judge is a more prolific home run hitter than Soto.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're looking at numbers for the season, I mean, Aaron Judge's numbers, yeah, he missed some time, but he hasn't really played all that great, I would say. I mean, the Nationals have a good team, and they're in the World Series for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish it would have been the Cardinals. I would like to have been right, my World Series pick, but I guess I got to settle for a half again.
Yeah. Well, and I picked the Astros to win it all, so I will be rooting for the Astros. Not that I wouldn't root for the Astros anyway, because I live here. And
now we live in Houston. Did you want to got some furniture?
No, I did not.
Well, you still got time.
Was it to win the World? I don't think so. I think they closed it out. Was it to? So for people who are not from the Houston area, we have a furniture. What's the right word?
Gallery?
A furniture
warehouse.
A furniture.
It's a store outlet.
A furniture. No. This guy is a furniture beast. I mean, he makes a bajillion dollars a year. A guy by the name of Mac something or other, and he goes by Mattress Mac, and he owns a chain of furniture stores here, Gallery Furniture, and he's done this before, and he said he did a deal for most of the year. I think he cut it off in like the middle of September. He spent $3,000 before September 15th, let's say. I don't remember the exact date. And if the Astros win the World Series, he'll refund your money. So it's a great marketing tool. He has turned around and gone to casinos and placed millions of dollars on the Astros to win the World Series, which is probably his way of hedging his bet, I guess.
I think I read yesterday that he put up another $1 million. That would have been
$4 million.
Oh, 4? Okay. See, I thought it was.
I think he's up to $4 million.
All that is a write-off anyway. I mean, he's insured all of that.
I would guess he's insured the furniture stuff, but the bets are the bets.
He's got enough money.
Oh yeah, no, she's got a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
So I never do the furniture thing because I know that if I did it, if I needed the furniture, right, then I would do it, I guess. But if I did it just because I thought I would end up getting it for free, the Astros wouldn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
You would be the kiss of death.
Oh, yeah, I am.
Because you have a way of absolutely.
I called it last night, though, didn't I?
The home run?
Well, I texted you and Jay, and I was like, okay, that Brantley catch sucked the life out of the Yankees.
Right,
then in the ninth inning, they had a runner on, and I'm like, home run Yankees to tie the game? Question mark.
2 minutes later, LeMahieu hits the home run. So
amazing.
Back to the Astros and Nationals. I think the Nationals have a chance. And actually, I think they have a good chance because, look, the Astros have not been hitting great in the postseason. They ran into a tough Tampa Bay pitching staff, and they struggled to get through that series. The Yankees pitching staff, not as good, and they still didn't really knock the cover off the ball. And the Nationals, I mean, they're going to throw 4 guys at you that are – 2 of them are aces, right? And the other 2 are healthy to, maybe a 3 starter. But they're not throwing you 4s and 5s. Right. I mean, they're throwing you 2 1s in Scherzer and Strasburg. They're throwing you a 2 in Corbin and Sanchez, who when he's on, he's a 2. I would say now he's a 3, but 4 arms like that. And here's the other thing. Martinez seems to be a little bit like Alex Cora from last year. He seems to be pushing all the right buttons, right? Taking guys out. Like the whole thing with using a starter in high leverage situations in relief, right? You see in one series he paired up, it looked like he paired up Scherzer and Strasburg and Sanchez and Corbin. And then in the next series, he switched it up. He switched to, I think it was Corbin and Scherzer, Strasburg and Sanchez. And so, sometimes, how it is. Sometimes you just get hot and every decision you make works out perfectly. And Martinez seems to have a little bit of that going on.
Yeah. It very well happened last year with Cora and the Red Sox. I'm not giving the Nationals much of a chance.
Really?
Yeah, really. Strasburg to me is their best pitcher at the moment, and the one win that the Nationals get will be his start. Other than that, I don't. It's a.
You're predicting 4-1?
Yeah, 4-1. 4-1 Astros.
Wow.
Yeah.
4-1 wouldn't surprise me, but I'm thinking 4-2. I think the Astros win it here.
I feel like the Astros are fundamentally just
Better.
locked in when they need to be, and they come through in spots that other teams fail to do so. Like they take advantage of that bunt by Martin Maldonado. I don't even know if I probably butchered his name, but that bunt, it didn't lead to anything other than him getting on first base. It didn't lead to a run or anything like that, but that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, and that's AJ Hinch, pushing the right button.
You want to
right
talk about that guy is not hot. AJ Hinch is not hot.
Yeah.
That's just the way he is.
Right.
He just pushes the right buttons. He seems to know that team really well. And I really like him. He doesn't get excited about anything. I mean, he is just laser focused, steady hand at the wheel.
Yeah.
He doesn't worry about the umpires. The play last night where I want to say it was Reddick or Marisnik. It was one of those guys hit the roof and the ball came down foul.
Reddick. I think that was Reddick.
Reddick. And, everyone's up in arms about, it should be a double, this, that, and the other thing. He came out calmly, talked to the umpire. The umpire explained it to him. He said, okay, went back to the dugout. Which, how many times have you heard, look, they're not going to change the call. You may as well not even argue.
Right.
And he just went out there, got an explanation, went about his merry way. I will say this. I think the one thing that's a bit of a killer for the Nationals is they've been sitting for a week. That's for a team that was really riding momentum, and I mean some crazy momentum because what they did to the Cardinals was just insane. I mean, they beat the brakes off the Cardinals, but it'll be a solid week by the time they get back out on the field.
Wow.
Whereas for the Astros, it'll just be 3 days, right? 2 days off.
And they don't have to go anywhere.
They're at home. So I think that's a plus. I heard David Martinez making them practice at night.
At night?
Yeah, to simulate game day. Interesting.
Well,
guy pushing all the right buttons.
There you go, right?
Wonder, right? Like maybe they're going to come out and it's going to work for him.
Yeah, it could very well be. It seems like baseball the postseason for baseball has always been like that, right? There's always a manager that is just ends up calling, just the right pinch hitter at the right time, the right call to the pen, the right time to freaking start Howie Kendrick for the Dodgers. I mean, for the Nationals.
Yeah.
So it's just funny that way.
Yeah,
yes.
and also on the flip side, right? Leaving Clayton Kershaw 1 inning too many.
Yeah.
And getting lit up by the Nationals. But I think that's one of the beauties of playoff baseball is you don't know who the hero is going to be because you don't know what situation is going to do it.
Right.
The only person that you can truly count on is the starting pitcher because he's going to have the ball in his hands. It's not like football and basketball, right?
Yeah.
In football and basketball, you can get the ball into your best player and see what happens. Your best player against their best player, right? In baseball, it's not that way. You don't know who's going to come up to bat. You don't know where the ball is going to get hit. It could be, the catch by Reddick, the face plant last night. I mean, his catch was more impressive than Brantley's because at least with Brantley's, Bregman was right there, and it was higher, so it wasn't gonna go very far. If Reddick misses that ball in right, everybody coming home. I mean, that's an inside the park home run.
one thing he wasn't gonna miss was gonna be the grass.
Oh my god!
I mean, if he would have been playing football and had a helmet on, that face mask would have been full of grass. No?
The biggest grass stain he had on his uniform last night was on his face.
On his teeth.
I mean, the guy came up and he was green.
Like,
I was like, oh my god,
bro.
he's sick.
Like, damn, bro, what'd you do? Eat some broccoli? No, I ate some grass. Some grass? What are you, a horse?
I am picking the Astros in 6.
In 6?
You're picking the Astros in 5. I guess we will see how it goes. I can't wait.
I would love to put some money on the 4-1. I bet the odds got to be a little far, right?
Yeah, you want to start talking NFL while I look at it?
Yeah, we can start talking NFL.
Start talking NFL while I'm going to go ahead and look that up because I'm curious now.
Week 7 of the NFL. I watched one game today, and it was a very disappointing one. So,
wait, hold on. Let me guess.
After that, I didn't watch much football.
The Giants?
Nor did I care about football after that. Yeah, I don't know where I want to go first.
What happened with the Giants today?
They lost to
No,
the
I know
sucky-ass Arizona Cardinals.
The Cardinals are not that good. What happened?
I don't know. It all fell apart. That's all. So, but let's see. I don't know.
The biggest surprise to me, and I can't. I'm really curious. Your thoughts, dude? The Saints keep winning. The Saints are 6-1. They put up 36 on the Bears today, in what was an entertaining football game. What is going on? I thought the Saints were toast without Breeze, but lo and behold, yeah, they're looking pretty good.
Yeah, when I said that, out of the Steelers and the Saints would, tread water after losing their starting
They're
quarterback.
doing more than treading
I didn't
water.
think they were doing. I didn't think they would, be knee above water.
Yeah, they are having no problems whatsoever.
But they're doing it with defense. Kamara's banged up.
Yeah.
But
they scored 36 today. That wasn't defense.
Well, but I mean, yeah, but they play some defense.
Well, no, I'm not saying that, but that's not why they won today. I mean, obviously it's a team win, but
and they've been doing it on the road in Chicago, in Seattle.
Yeah,
I mean,
at tough places against tough defense.
They're just not a good road team overall. Usually,
amazing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna gloat and say that my Bills are 5-1.
Oh shit! I need them to lose their next 4 and their next 3, their next.
No, it's not gonna
2.
Yeah, because I said 6-2, right?
Right, and I said 4-4.
Right. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm in trouble.
Well, yeah, you're done.
Well,
they can't go 4-4.
I can tie.
They already have more wins.
I can tie.
How can you tie?
5-3 is a tie. Because you said 6-2, I said 4-4.
Oh, okay. No, there's no ties in football.
There is, Donovan McNabb.
There's ties in football?
Please tell me you knew that.
I didn't know that.
How could we have
I'm boys with Donovan McNabb.
How can we have a sports talk podcast and you don't know that there's ties in football?
That's what pisses me off more about the Giants loss. We lost to a team that tied.
Oh man,
the Rams bounced back nice. That's a win they needed to have. They played this sorry Falcons. I don't know what I was thinking about picking the Falcons to win the division.
The Falcons are a mess. I don't think there's any way Quinn makes it to the end of the season.
Yeah,
that team's a mess. They can't score. They can't defend. I mean, that's a problem.
At what point do they fire him? I don't understand.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the best way to go is with the whole firing a coach. But at this point, it seems like you're kind of hurting the culture and the attitude and of the team. You know what I mean? Like a lot of those guys are going to come back next year.
Yeah.
And I don't think you want them to come back
with a sour taste in their mouth and at least get someone different in there for the last 8 weeks of the season. Even if he's not successful, even if he doesn't really change anything, even if he doesn't end up being your head coach, at least start to change the culture, start to change the attitude in there, because that team they're literally not doing anything. They're not defending. They're not running the ball. They're not throwing the ball. They're doing nothing. They are a complete mess.
Yeah, I mean,
look what the Redskins did, right? The Redskins knew they had the wrong guy in there, and they fired him. And there's a team that is as dysfunctional as it gets, and yet they made the change early.
Right.
They said, screw it, we got to start changing the culture. They went down to Miami. They won a game. Granted, Miami sucks, but at least they won a game. Today, at least they were in the game, right? They lost 9-0 to the Niners. Is that the quietest undefeated
it's got to be
6-0 team you've ever heard of?
It's got to be.
I mean,
I didn't know they were undefeated until just now.
I mean, they are the quietest undefeated team probably in the history of undefeated. 6-0.
How far can they go? I mean,
we talked about this last week, and I said they'll lose next week.
Who did they play?
I don't remember, but remember we talked about this, about which team is going to last longer between them and the Patriots.
Yeah.
And I immediately said San Francisco, not realizing that they were playing the Redskins, and then they looked. But to be fair, the Patriots are playing the Jets, so they shouldn't have a problem.
Their next game, well, the 49ers' next games are at home to the Panthers, who just had a bye.
That's a tough game.
That could be a tough game, but
it's at home though.
At home, then at Cardinals, home to the Seahawks after that. So you could.
Well, the Seahawks are a legit threat. The Seahawks are a good team.
The Ravens will say otherwise.
Well, look.
Ravens put it on them this week. They put it on them.
In Seattle, too.
That's 2 big losses at home.
Yeah.
That I right off the bat that I can think of.
The Saints?
That's unusual for the Seahawks.
Yeah, usually they are something else over there. You think after the game Earl Thomas went over to Pete Carroll and gave him the finger or shook his hand? I haven't seen any highlights.
I don't know.
I'm sure it's in the highlight reel.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see. Hopefully, he took the higher road, but
Pete Carroll.
I don't know the behind the scenes stuff. So
Pete Carroll, obviously they've asked him a lot about it this week. Pete Carroll was super nice about it. He was like, look, it's the heat of the moment. He feels a certain way. I love those guys anyway. I love them anyway. Which is pretty cool. If someone shoots me the finger, I don't know that I would. I mean, I would love him anyway, I guess. You've shot me the finger before. Well, I'll love you anyway.
Yeah, we're brothers too. There's no, it's a
Earl
little.
Thomas is a brother.
It's a true that.
So it's halfway there.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. That might be. Yeah, I don't know. That's touchy, man. I'll probably want to fight after that.
After you give him the finger?
Oh, I thought you were saying if he gave me the finger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
fight?
We'll have some words.
Aren't you a little old to be fighting?
No. Not any older than Earl Thomas.
But he's not wanting to fight you. He's just wanting to say F you.
Yeah, no, I mean. Yeah.
Hey, the other thing that I noticed, and this is part of this is because we did our podcast, the timing of our podcast, but since our last podcast, the Packers won twice, the Lions lost twice, the Bears lost, and the Vikings won. So what we're seeing is maybe a little bit of separation.
Thanks to the refs.
I'll let you address that as we talk about it. But in that NFC North, which has been a very interesting division so far this year, now you've got the Packers at 6-1, looking like a solid football team, especially when the referees help. The Vikings at 5-2. They won a big game on the road today against Detroit. They're looking. Kirk Cousins is looking good the last few weeks. The Bears at 3-3, losing, coming off a bye week against a team that's using a backup quarterback. And the Lions at 2-3-1, who got hosed by the referees, should have won that game for sure. And today they hung with Minnesota, but towards the end, Minnesota kind of put it on them.
Yeah.
Do you think this separation is for real, or do you think we're going to see them kind of come back together now? Because I think before the season started, we definitely thought the Lions were the worst team in that division.
Yeah.
They got off to a decent start. And then certainly up at the top, we thought it would be all three of them would be in it. We're starting to get a little separation. What do you think?
The Lions should look forward to playing next week. The Giants. I think the Lions can beat the Giants. So that could,
where's that game?
I think it's in New York.
That's a problem. The Lions could really
the
Lions. I agree. The Lions could win that game, but having to travel after really 6 days of not good football, one weekend by the refs, one weekend by Minnesota.
Yeah, but it's not like you're playing a playoff contender. You know what I'm saying? You're playing the Giants who have issues, and if you think the Lions are better,
an easy game is my point.
If you think the Lions are better than the Cardinals, then the Lions should win that game.
Well, the Lions and the Cardinals tied, so I think they're equally good.
True.
So that means they should barely beat the Giants.
Just like the Cardinals barely beat the Giants. But
but that'll be something else.
I'm calling bluff on the Packers. I don't think the Packers are.
You're still not sold?
No, I'm not sold on the Packers.
What about if the referees help?
I'm still not sold.
Go ahead, get into the referee thing because I know you want to.
No, I don't want to get into. I mean,
No,
I don't. It didn't happen to my team, so I can care less. I think it's bad for football. Honestly, it's really bad for football, and I don't enjoy watching a football game like that. Like I said to myself, Aaron Rodgers lives for these moments. Those are my exact words to myself on Monday night, and I think it's a shame that the refs played a part in that result of that game. And when you look at the replays, it's clear that they were phantom. They were called to the wrong team, and I think it's unfortunate for the sport, for the fan, and for the Detroit Lions, who are out there busting their tails, practicing hours of film, play a great game.
Winning a game.
Yeah.
Winning a game.
They were winning a game against a division rival in Green Bay. I mean, what else could you want from the Detroit Lions? I just think it really sucks.
Yeah.
And, on top of that, these pass interference calls, every coach that challenges it never gets overturned.
No.
Like, you're going to have to bulldoze. Like, you're going to have Rams Saints all over again for a pass interference to be reversed in the NFL. Yeah. And
I think that I feel like the referees have said, nope, we call pass interference.
Right.
No challenges. That you can challenge it. We're never going to overturn. I feel like the referees have collectively made a pact. We're not overturning any pass interference call. It's bullshit. And you know what? From a referee's perspective, they're right. It's bullshit to challenge penalties.
Hold on. Get ready, everybody.
You know where I'm going, right?
Usa. Rub those ears.
You know where I'm going, right?
I'm afraid.
This is the fucking VAR problem all over again. You cannot judge. You cannot. At what point do you challenge? You can challenge on every single play. On every single play. You know what they should do in the NFL? They should bring over a bunch of Europeans and a bunch of South Americans to play the game of football. Because I promise you, if you make a team of Europeans and South Americans, you will score. You will be down on the 1 yard line on every single drive on penalties alone.
Yeah.
Because guys, look, the guy from the Packers on Monday night, he had a hand right here at the very top of his shoulder pads in the middle of his chest. And what did he do with his head? Slung it all the way back.
Right. He sold it.
Yeah, he sold it. If that's not a soccer move, I don't know what is. And I'm telling you, if I'm a consultant for one of these teams, I would say, hey man, Let's find a couple European players that want to play this game. Let's find a couple South American players, and you get them to roll around on the ground. You can sell holding and pass interference till the cows come home.
Yeah,
and just look, get a fast soccer player, put some pads on him, make him your wide receiver, throw it down the field, tell him to run go routes. Just go, in the NFL where it's a spot foul,
right?
30-yard penalties. You make it down the field in 2 plays.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's really ridiculous, man.
And they're not going to overturn it.
Me personally, look, the players on the field, we always say, oh, the human element of the game. Well, you know what? The refs are humans too, right? They're going to miss calls. I'm all for getting rid of most of the replays in sports. Like, basketball just incorporated a foul. I mean, like, why? Right? But
there's another one that's I feel like in May during the playoffs, I'm gonna have the same fit that I'm having right now, which is the same fit I had during the World Cup. It's the VAR fit all over again.
I would start the odds at like minus 500 on that. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for getting rid of replay or most of it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just a waste of time. It's just unfortunate because someone's gonna get hosed in the playoffs. Like,
well, it's gonna cost.
The Saints,
look, who's the coach for the Lions?
Pencil guy, Patricia.
Look,
Matt Patricia.
That guy might be able to trace the roots of his firing to that game in Green Bay because they got hosed out of a win Monday night. I have no problem saying that. They lost today, and I'm sure part of it is the residual effect from last week. It's hard to prepare. It's a short week, and you're hacked off that you got hosed by the refs. Next week, they got to travel to New York. They may lose that game, and they may go into a tailspin where they end up with a 5-10-1 season because, well, they've got a tie in there. And he's going to get fired. And the genesis of it is going to be that ridiculous amount of flags that they threw on Monday night.
You got to think he's got to have that number 2 pencil all sharpened up, ready to take it out on somebody.
They probably ought not mess with that guy. Come over like Freddie Krueger, right in the throat of a ref.
And he's a big guy too.
He's not a small dude. He means business. You catching up on the Philadelphia-Dallas game?
Yeah, I'm not getting good. The 14-7 Cowboys are winning.
The Cowboys have scored 2 touchdowns already?
Yeah.
Wow. Their offense is on fire compared to the last few weeks. Because it has not been pretty the last few
weeks. Well, they're
weeks.
not playing the Jets now.
Well, the juggernaut that is the Jets. Right. That makes all the sense in the world. What else is interesting from today?
I don't know.
Oh, not from today, but from Thursday.
Oh. That's big.
That is huge. For those of let me bring people up to speed real quick. Patrick Mahomes dislocated kneecap. They say best case. They say that when they did the MRI, it ended up being the best case scenario, which is not no real ligament damage.
Right.
He should only be out 3 weeks.
I think they already said he's coming back week 11, right?
Right, which, well, I guess that's more than 3 weeks, but they said he should only be out 3 weeks. Let me tell you something. I dislocated my kneecap in college.
You did?
Yes. I dislocated my kneecap.
Did you tell mom and dad?
It happened like the first 2 weeks of school. And so what they did back then, I don't know what they do now, they pop it back into place and then they immobilize the knee so that, you don't, so that those ligaments can kind of re-strengthen themselves. So they put me in a cast from my ankle to my hip. And I got the cast off 2 days before Thanksgiving break when I went back home. So I conveniently took care of it myself. Right? Dealt with insurance and all that other shit.
Damn, look at you.
And did not tell mom and dad.
Mom would have freaked out.
Yeah, exactly.
Dad would have been like, oh, get well.
Yeah. And so I didn't, and I actually did not tell them until I went home. Yeah. And so I went home for Thanksgiving and they saw that one pencil leg. I'm a runner, right? And I mean, even when I was younger, my legs have always been pretty muscular.
Right.
My upper body looks like a skeleton, but my lower body's always been pretty built. you spend 6 weeks in a cast.
You ain't doing
and,
shit.
Yeah, your leg goes.
It's funny how we're polar opposites in that sense, right? I think
Yeah,
I'm more upper body.
Yeah, you got low chicken legs.
Yeah, hey, they're not chicken legs. They're hairy chicken legs.
No, they're missing the feathers. Yeah, it's funny. We were talking about that before the podcast. We're different in a lot of ways. Like you got a little itty bitty peanut head, and I got a big old melon. I look like a bobblehead.
You do. Call you bobblehead. Yeah, it's funny that.
So Patrick Mahomes being out.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
You know,
for a team that is kind of struggling a little bit.
Yeah, you definitely seen some struggles from them. They haven't looked like quite themselves, which, if you really look at the AFC now, it's slim pickings. Seriously. The North, you got the Ravens, but do we think they can beat the Patriots? In the West, you got, who do you have in the West? Well,
Chiefs and the Chargers. And
the Chargers aren't. The Chargers had
a bad
and
don't forget about the Broncos.
And the Broncos. Hey, that's my sleeper team.
Yeah.
They're making the playoffs.
They're still sleeping.
On this piece of paper, they're making the playoffs.
Yeah, they're your sleeper team. I agree with you. You got that 100% correct. They are a sleeping team.
Yes.
They are still asleep.
You know what they say?
They're not coming back because it's wintertime. They're hibernating.
Yeah, you know what they say? Don't wake up a sleeping giant.
Yeah. Nobody is.
Or a sleeping horse.
Everyone's running right around into the end zone.
But seriously, and like then you have the South. That was a good game today between the Colts and the Texans. Well, from the looks of it, from the highlights, I didn't watch it. The Colts got the upper hand on the Texans in that one. But do we see
on the road? It's the way the Texans are.
But do we see either of those teams really challenging the Patriots? And now with the Chiefs without Mahomes, I mean, the AFC is looking really, really weak.
Yeah,
I mean,
weak is the right word.
I hate to say it.
Weak is the right word, though. But look, I think the fact that he's only going to be out 3 weeks, they're still going to get one of the top 2 spots, I believe. But now they're going to have to go to New England if they face off in an AFC Championship game. So I feel like it's a big deal because they can't fall too far behind. They're already two losses behind the Patriots.
And they play each other.
Yeah, and look, the games that Mahomes is going to miss are not easy games. They're at home against the Packers, at home against the Vikings, thank goodness. And then they go to Tennessee, and then he'll be back, I guess, week 11 for at LA against the Chargers. But those next 2 games against the Packers and the Vikings, 2 teams that are playing good football, and they're going to have referees at that game against the Packers. Did you see all the memes of the referees with instead of the shield, they had a little Packers logo on?
Oh, no, it is.
And they showed one of the referee doing the Lambeau leap after the game.
Classic. Yeah, they had one where, you know, how the teams, when after they score a touchdown or the defense scores a touchdown, they go to the end zone. The back end, they pose for a picture. They had the refs, like 4 or 5 refs in front of them.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's it's a terrible thing to say, but that's really it really looked bad. It looked bad today.
Who do you see
on Monday, I should say?
If the Chiefs don't stay the number 2 seed, or, you know, who do you see emerging? Who do you see emerging towards that first round bye?
Well, I think the closest thing is the Ravens, because I think the Ravens play in a very weak division. You know, the Browns are proving that they were extremely overhyped.
No,
everyone fell in love with the whole Baker Mayfield thing and the whole Odell and and I'm not saying they're not going to be good. I just don't think they're going to be that good this year. I didn't think they were going to be, 11-5 like people were talking about them. I mean, people talked about the Browns going to the Super Bowl before the season started. The Super Bowl,
honestly,
in a conference that has the defending champions, the New England Patriots,
right,
who I don't know, they're pretty good.
All right,
and the offensive juggernaut that is the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Obviously now they're dinged up a little bit. but people were actually making that prediction. So, I wasn't buying it, and they're obviously not that good. And then you've got the Bengals, who have the Bengals won a game yet? Are they? They must be sleeping with the Broncos because that was your sleeper team last year, and apparently you pick them, they go to sleep. That's the way it works. And then the Steelers, who, is Ben done for the season?
Yeah,
Ben's done for the season.
And Rudolph is hurt too, isn't he?
Rudolph was in concussion protocol last week. So, and look, even if Mason Rudolph comes back, he's a rookie. I mean, what can you possibly expect? So they've got an easy division. They could make a run and a play at that top seed. One of those top two spots.
You okay?
This is what happens when you go live, man.
Don't get nervous.
I'm nervous.
There's only one person watching.
It's been an hour, and now I'm nervous. All of a sudden, I just got nervous.
I'll tell you what.
That one person is probably us.
Are we watching our own live?
I mean, technically, aren't we?
Log onto your phone and watch us.
I'm gonna do that right now.
You know what I should do? I should give out your phone number live.
Don't do that.
You ready, guys?
Dial it up. I start getting all these crazy text messages.
Well, now, I check out the Ravens' schedule here after this game against the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
At home to the Patriots, at Cincinnati, at home to the Texans,
at home
to the Texans, at the Rams, at home to the 49ers, at the Bills. They could win that. I mean, that's not an easy schedule right there.
I've got them at 3-2, and I'm 50-50 on that Bills game.
Yeah, that one can go either way, right? I think. Because the Ravens should win that game.
Because here's the thing. The Niners are going to Baltimore.
Yeah.
I think the Niners are going to cool off by then. I mean, that's 4 weeks down the line, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. That's a pretty tough schedule.
It is. But look, they've got an easy one with the Bengals. The Texans don't play well on the road. So I think that's a win. I think they'll be all right.
Yeah.
I mean,
next week will be a very good test for Lamar Jackson, right? Because the defense of the Patriots is
stout,
better than the offense, which we probably would never have imagined. And
the defense is for real.
Yeah,
the defense is.
No, yeah, I agree, but that'll be a good measuring stick.
Yeah,
for Lamar Jackson specifically, I think.
Yeah,
right.
Let's see what we got.
Let's see how the Patriots prepare for him,
which is a good warm up for them further down the line when they have to see Mahomes.
Yeah,
because look, they likely will have to face one, if not both, of those teams in the playoffs. So this is a great. It's almost an unfair advantage for the Patriots.
There's going to be a team that somehow comes out of nowhere.
Look,
and you know who I think it's going to be? It's going to be the Colts of the Texans. Because no one's talking about them.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, but there's always a team that comes out of nowhere and goes on this run towards the end of the season, rips off 6 in a row to end the season, and then goes into the playoffs and just rides that momentum.
The difference is that division tends to beat up on each other. So the Texans got beat by the Colts in Indy.
Yeah.
They're going to come back to Houston. The Texans are going to beat the Colts. It's the same thing with Tennessee. It's the same thing with Jacksonville. All of those teams tend to go like 3-3 in the division. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So look, the Colts are 2-0 in the division. I'm willing to bet both of those were home games. The Texans 1-1, Jaguars 1-1, and Tennessee 0-2. It's just they're and the Colts lead that division at 4-2. Last place 3-4. I mean, it's right there.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's a tough road to hoe in that division.
I think the Colts will win that division. I mean, they got a good team.
Oh yeah. Well, they've got a great offensive line.
They do.
So even though they don't have Andrew Luck, you give a quarterback a ton of time, and just about anybody can make hay that way. Not to mention running the football. So what does that mean?
I have no idea.
Okay, whatever.
We're at your house. I have no idea.
If something blows up,
we're live.
We're live. Everybody will see it. Oh
What-
man.
So you're gonna go watch the Cowboys game?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get me some dinner.
I have
and
no
watch some
idea who
football.
to root for in that game, but
I'm just rooting for a good game. I mean, I'd rather see the Cowboys win than the Eagles, but
too bad there's no extra innings or
Well,
the
they-
game has to end.
they could go into overtime.
Yeah, but it's gonna end.
Well, every game ends at
Well,
some
in
point.
baseball, it goes 20 innings if it has
Right?
to.
No, I get it, but they all end. They've
I
never
wish-
had one not end.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I wish football had that never ending until somebody wins.
Yeah.
That way they can just fucking beat each other up and be so tired and
For 2 hours, they have to forfeit the rest of the season.
That'd be
Right.
great. Yeah.
Is that what you want?
No.
All right, buddy. I think that's it for our first live stream episode of the Positive Sports Podcast, episode 98. You got a famous number 98?
No. Off the top of my head, I do not have one.
98. It's got to be
Neil
a defensive.
Smith? No, he was like 90, I think. Neil Smith, defensive end for the Chiefs. I
Bruce
think.
Smith was 78.
He had an offensive lineman's number, right?
Yeah.
70s are offensive linemen. 60s.
98.
I
God,
can't.
I can't think of one.
I'm about
That's
to
embarrassing.
cheat.
Go ahead.
98.
98. If you want to reach out to the show and share your thoughts with us and let us know what you think about our very first live stream, you can do so. You can email the show. positivesports10@gmail.com is the address. positivesports10@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of Alex and talk to him and tell him, please, please, please do not pick my team as your sleeper next year, you can do so via Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho 1. I hope y'all know how to spell that because I'm not even sure myself. And if you want to get a hold of me on Twitter, you can do so at eMontana21. I will be more than glad to tell you who I'm picking.
Yeah, the Astros may lose this World Series since I picked them.
No, it's when you pick sleepers that it really goes off the rails.
All right, well, I don't know. I can't pull up.
It's tough. Whatever that beeping is, I hope someone turns it off out there because it's driving me nuts.
Yeah, my phone.
You can't even hear it, can you?
Yeah, I hear it. That's pretty good by you to hear that because you're
I know
pretty
because I'm
deaf.
pretty darn deaf.
All right,
Well,
hold on.
I'm damn near 50.
Hold on, before we leave.
Famous 98.
Famous 98, drum roll, please. Julian Peterson. Okay, I heard Tony Siragusa.
Oh, the goose. I like that
What
guy.
happened to him? He used to do Fox, right?
Yeah.
He like on the field.
Yeah, he
He
did.
was pretty good too.
Yeah, he was, but now he's just too big.
He's just goosing around.
He's just too big. They can't find a camera angle for him. He's a big boy.
He is a big
I mean, he
boy.
was a big boy when he played. When he stopped playing,
What team?
he became a bigger boy.
What team?
Didn't he play for the Ravens?
The Ravens, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got a shout out?
I know, shout out.
See, when we get live, we get all nervous because I don't have a shout out
I
either.
don't-
My shout out goes to Jose Altuve. I love that guy.
I already gave him a shout out, bro.
He's awesome. Did you see him rounding the bases, telling the guys, "Don't rip my shirt"?
No, I didn't see it. Well,
So-
I didn't notice.
So he's coming down the third base line and he's holding his jersey. He goes and he's saying it in Spanish. I don't know why because there were some other people there. I guess they all know Spanish at this point. They're together
Yeah.
somewhere. And he's telling them, "Don't rip my shirt. Don't rip my shirt." And they asked him about it in the post game interview, and he said, "I didn't want him to rip my shirt because I didn't want my wife to get mad at me." It's like, really? She's gonna get mad at you about that?
Sissy. Well,
Bro.
she's probably 5'9". That's huge to him. He's probably scared of her.
You think a guy like that's got a tall wife? I mean, I've never seen her. I don't know.
I mean, look, I'll go to midgets.com and I'll find me some. I mean,
No.
I can't have a 6-foot wife and I'm 5'3". That would be
Would you have
awkward.
ever dated someone taller than you?
I mean, I'm 5'9", so I mean 6 foot.
I mean, yeah,
6'1",
there are
maybe.
women that are taller than you.
No, yeah, I know what I'm saying, but like,
Not Rebecca Lobo.
but if
6'8".
I'm 5'4", I'm not dating someone who's 5'7", 5'8".
Why not?
No, nah.
You think that accentuates the fact that you're short?
Yeah, it's gonna make me look 4'7", 4'4" instead of 5'4".
I would date a woman that was. I mean, I don't date now, but if I did, I would date a woman that was taller than me. I have no problem with it.
How much taller?
Don't care.
So
because look, I'm 6 foot, right?
Right.
So
she's 6'4".
That's fine. No one is gonna look at us and say, "Oh, he's short." They're just gonna say she's tall, and so it doesn't bother me.
I don't know, man. I can think of a few complex situations to be in when you're 6 foot and she's 6'4", 6'5". Man, I mean,
what complex situation?
It's just
kick my ass.
Well, yeah, that, and it's just
but you can find a chick who's 5'8" who can kick your ass.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to be intimidated by a woman that's 6'4" and I'm 5'9". I would be intimidated. I mean,
you would be intimidated.
Yeah, I would be intimidated. I mean, I might as well hand her my jeans and I'll wear the heels and dress.
Well, then you would be just about the same height. No, I mean, why would you be intimidated? She's a person just like you. Yeah. I'm not saying she would be 6'4" and like
because
a bodybuilder.
Think about it.
Okay.
If you have kids with this girl and you end up being the smallest person in the family.
Yeah, but again, I'm not small, so it wouldn't bother me.
Yeah,
I could see it. I could see it now if I was Altuve, right? Because if you're 5'4", you're just walking around. People are like, oh, he's not that tall. But if you're always walking around with someone who's 5'8", which is not a big difference, but still big, people are gonna be like, oh, he's short. But for me, I'm 6 foot. If I'm walking with a woman who's 6'4" or 6'5" even, no one's gonna look at me and say he's short. They're gonna look at her and say she's tall. Right. So I'm okay with it. Yeah. And I'm not gonna be intimidated. Look, if I'm intimidated by a girl, I'm just not gonna date her, whether she's 6'4" or 5'2". If she's 5'2" and from the hood willing to cut me at the first time I leave a dirty dish in the sink, then I'm just not gonna go that route. Right, you know what I mean? So I'm not gonna be intimidated.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me.
You know how Altuve didn't even go to college, right? Like he tried out for the Astros, didn't make the tryout, and then went back. And I think he went back with his dad, and he got a freaking amazing story.
Yeah, and it's inspirational because he's a short guy.
Yeah.
Who dates tall women that make him look short.
We need to. That's what we need to Google is how tall.
Well, let's look it up.
How tall is Jose Altuve?
I mean, this podcast doesn't have to end. It's live, bro.
Is he married?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He said with his wife,
Jose
right?
Altuve wife. I want to see a picture of them together.
Yeah. I don't know. Nah, screw that. I got to be the tallest person in the relationship, or taller person.
Okay. Well, what if you have kids? Like you're taller than your wife, but what if you have kids and your kid just got some gene and he's taller than you?
That's cool. He's only in the house until 18. He's getting kicked out after that. I got to live with my wife for the rest of my life.
Oh, wow. She is not tall.
She's not tall? So
No, she's not tall at all.
Oh, what a smart guy. Jose Altuve. There's my shout out to them. He's a smart guy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, she's not tall.
She's actually shorter.
Yeah.
Looking at that picture, she's shorter.
And that looked like a formal picture. Like they were dressed up. So maybe she's even in heels.
So smart guy, you see? Smart guy. Can't be intimidated. He's a ball player. He can't have his wife. Could you imagine you're around the guys and Carrera's freaking 6'2" and you're hanging around with the guys and you're the fucking little guy with this gigantic freaking green monster.
Hey,
he's a smart guy.
Hey, he went out and won the MVP. He's got a World Series ring.
Yeah,
I don't think he needs to be taller than anyone. He's just fine.
No, I'm just saying from his personal life.
How many MVPs and World Series rings does Aaron Judge have? 0.
Yeah, but that has nothing.
He's twice his size.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the preference of.
Well, no, but that's my point, right? Like that's why I think he should have no qualms about whether the woman's taller than him or not.
I think he does, though. Because
that chick's got to be pretty damn short.
Yeah, I think he does. He's like, no way.
I'm not doing this. Well, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe it's just his preference. Or maybe she's just a wonderful person and loves him for him.
A wonderful shorter person.
And he said, he found the woman of his dreams. Maybe they were sitting down when he met her and he didn't even know she was shorter.
Maybe.
All right, we got to wrap this up because now we're just completely off the rails.
All right, next week, tune back in.
We're gonna do it again. I don't know if we'll do the live thing again.
I don't know. I
don't
enjoyed
have a
it.
problem. It's a good time.
It's a good time either
yeah,
way.
It's a good. Yeah, we have a good time regardless.
All right. So
As always, folks, ignore the negativity. Be the positivity.
Peace.